A number of issues wound up in here. I know you personally used to serve as a judge advocate in the Air Force. We looked at the JAG manual. Preventative self-defense employed to counter non-imminent threats is illegal under international law. So if we are not at war and these suspected criminals pose no threat of imminent violence, isn't this potentially a war crime to be killing the people on these boats and then to be taking out a leader?
No, not at all. I don't know what manual you're referring to, but I know what President Bush 41 did.
Several groups in the United States of America is urging Caribbean nations to stock up on food supplies because there's an imminent war on the horizon. A lot of Caribbean-based groups in New York, through their congressmen, have been getting various messaging that a war is imminent in the Caribbean. That's with Venezuela. Colombia could be drawn into it as well based on the information. And so they're urging Caribbean governments to alert their people to stock up on food supplies. I don't know how many governments in the region have been doing that, but I know when you listen to the War Hawk, people like Lindsey Graham, and I'll play that video for you in a while, you know that a war is imminent. I can't tell you the date and the time. Nobody will tell you when they're going to attack somebody, really. States do alert states that we plan to strike, but based on what Trump is doing, nobody knows when anything is going to happen. That's just what it is. So your best bet and your best defense is to always prepare. And I'm happy to see people in Trinidad and Tobago. I got messages from St. Lucia this morning, from Grenada, Barbados, Dominica. People have been telling me they're doing their own provision. They're stocking up because the governments are not really saying much. But it is imperative that you do, because whenever any of this pops off, a lot of things will come to a halt for a while. And if you're left without any sort of food stuff for a period of time, you know what can happen. But listen to this War Hawk from Washington.
On Friday, Defense Secretary Hegseth ordered the deployment of the Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford, to Latin America. President Trump was asked if he planned to ask Congress for a declaration of war. Take a listen.
I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay, we're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead.
You don't need an aircraft carrier to hit drug boats. Are land strikes planned?
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. I think President Trump's made a decision that Maduro, the leader of Venezuela, is an indicted drug trafficker, that it's time for him to go, that Venezuela and Colombia have been safe havens for narco-terrorists for too long. And President Trump told me yesterday that he plans to brief members of Congress when he gets back from Asia about future potential military operations against Venezuela and Colombia. So there will be a congressional briefing about a potential expanding from the sea to the land. I support that idea, but I think he has all the authority he needs. Senator Gallego on another network accused President Trump and our military of committing murder by attacking these drug boats. To our men and women in uniform, you're not murdering anybody. You're making America safer by going after a narco-terrorist. You're following lawful orders. When President Bush 41 took Ortega out in Panama, Reagan went into Grenada to deal with the Cuban influence from Grenada in our backyard. He has all the authority in the world. This is
just to clarify, the examples you're citing also involved ground troops. You said time for Maduro to go.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like regime change. Are you talking about troops on the ground?
I'll let the president speak to that. I'm talking about a briefing that would expand military operations potentially from the sea to the land. It is time for Maduro to go. It was time for Ortega to go. The Monroe Doctrine has been robustly applied by President Trump. So these military assets are moving forward to deal with a country that's got blood on its hands when it comes to Americans by flooding our country with drugs from Venezuela and Colombia. So I hope Maduro would leave peacefully, but I don't think he's going to stay around much longer. Yeah.
Some of your Republican colleagues have been uncomfortable with what little information has been shared with Congress. Take a listen.
But if they want all-out war where we kill anybody and everybody that is in the country of Venezuela or coming out, that has to have a declaration of war. It's something that is not pretty, very expensive, and I'm not in favor of declaring war on Venezuela, but the Congress should vote. The president shouldn't do this by himself.
If this was happening with this level of insight under the Biden administration, I'd be apoplectic.
So that is a clear indication that we are on the cusp of an imminent war in this Caribbean region. And so I see that people are saying fear of war sparks stockpiling of food essentials in South Trinidad. I'm very happy a lot of folks have called me from Trinidad and they have said to me that they are taking my advice. And they know the only time in this region when people really prepare and stock up is when hurricanes are coming. But people are taking my advice and I'm very happy for that. Many Trinidadians appear unbothered by the rising tension between the United States and Venezuela. However, according to the Guardian newspaper, some in South Trinidad are quietly preparing for the worst, stockpiling up on groceries and essential supplies in the event war breaks out and TNT is caught in the crossfire. Literally, I'm saying something to you. It's not a joke when I come here and tell you to prepare or to stock up for something. Something imminent is about to take place in this Caribbean region of ours. A lot of people will be left in the dark. A lot of people will be left scrambling when there will not be enough time for you to prepare. All right? The Guardian went on to say the sudden buying spree coincided basically with the arrival of the USS Gravely, which is a guided missile destroyer that docked in Port of Spain on Sunday. This is not going to be a joke. When you hear the war hawks in Washington telling you things are going to happen and there's going to be an invasion, believe them. These people live for war, okay? These people are part of what you call a military-industrial complex. They don't joke. So when you hear them talk, know that something is going to happen. So guys, I'm urging you, prepare yourselves for an imminent war in this Caribbean of ours. Take care, take it easy.